to You Are Art. I'm going to try to make this video pretty quick. It's going to be why I chose Freeform locks. I'm about a month in. Yeah, a month and a half actually. Jeez, time flies. Oh my goodness. Anyways, I'm going to talk about the reasons why I decided to start this and what it's been like for me. I don't want to be late for class today. And that's another thing. I feel like right now I'm definitely in a learning phase. So I'm getting a master's degree in a leadership program at a spiritual school, but it's also academically accredited. I am studying with a shaman, doing apprenticeship with that on the side. I am studying plant medicine. I am studying, what else am I studying? I just joined today a grief support group. That was pretty powerful. I'm working with a healer. So all of these forms of like nourishment and food for my soul, knowledge for my brain are just accumulating right now in my life. So I think it's the perfect timing to start my Freeform locks, just to symbolize beginning and new journey and really diving deep to growth. So growth is definitely one of the reasons why I chose Freeform locks. I wanted to kind of express what's going on within my soul, which is definitely a lot of transformation, a lot of evolution on a personal level. And I oftentimes do tend to express on the outer what is morphing on within. And so I'm not too surprised. However, I am surprised in the sense that I never thought I would get free locks again, period. So I had one set before, and that was when I was 21 years old, and I didn't have them for a long time at all. Maybe I'll talk about that a little bit more in another video, but never did I think I would ever get locks again, and especially not Freeform. And I found out about them through just randomly browsing on YouTube one day, and I was like, oh wow. And once I saw it, I fell in love. I was like, oh my God, this is so cool. They look so different. The cool thing about Freeform locks is you'll never see somebody else with the same locks as yours. They'll always look kind of different because as African American hair, African diaspora hair, our hair is different based on curl patterns. So you'll never see someone who Freeform locks their hair and it looked the exact same. Now, manicured locks, the kinds that I had in my first set, like really twisted, neat, manicured, those tend to look very similar to others who twist their locks. So that was one thing I loved. And it was like really interesting because once I saw videos on it, I got hooked. I couldn't stop watching videos of people's lock journeys with Freeform. And it was like my soul was just calling out to me constantly, like, Vanessa, do Freeform locks. Vanessa, do Freeform locks. You know, and finally, and I'm the type of person who, I'll be real, I feel like I have gone far on my personal evolution, although I still have ways to go. I've gone far because I've always been the type of person to listen to the callings of my soul. I do believe that we all have to face our deathbed one day and ask ourselves, am I happy with how I lived my life? And so that's one way that I can always assure that I will be happy with how I chose to live my life is by listening to my soul. It's also the most authentic that I feel like anyone can come back to. So take away the hair dyes, and I'm not against it. I'll probably dye my tips blonde, knowing me, summertime or something, but it's just the most authentic form you can find yourself in, because I was obviously born this way. I didn't process it. I'm not combing it, which is a whole other topic. I'll get into that. Growing up, I have always been very tender-headed, and my hair is very kinky, as you can see. Some of them are actually locking already, which I think is pretty cool, most of the ones in the back. But because my hair is kinky and because I'm tender-headed, it's like not the best combination as form of ease, in the sense of ease. I remember crying, and I remember combing Barbie doll hair, and I was like, oh my gosh, why can't my hair be like theirs? The comb runs through. When you put a comb through my hair, it is just like pain. And I feel like this journey is a way for me to embrace the beauty of my natural hair and also the freedom of not having to comb it, not having to do what it doesn't want to be done to it, right? So if coarse kinky hair is like the texture of wool, you wouldn't run a comb through wool. You just wouldn't do it through that texture. It doesn't really make sense. So to let it grow organically and knot up in the way that it's forming in its own pleasure. I think it's a beautiful way of honoring the self and God's creation and how Source created you to be. And so that's definitely something that I'm loving about the Freeform locks. I also feel very free and liberated, not having to conform to society standards. That's another thing, is I spent years wearing blonde long hair down my back like Beyonce, and there's nothing wrong with that. However, I do think it's a problem when you're looking so much outside to appear a certain way based on how society defines you for validation, external validation. I think the key is to go within and validate yourself, starting with accepting who you are organically, being 100% authentic and owning that and standing confidently in your authenticity. So that is definitely one thing that I love about the liberation of having Freeform locks, is I'm no longer relying on blonde weaves or that being a crutch. And that alone is just empowering as a woman, as a feminine being, and embodying this divine queenliness, goddessness, you know? I think it is wonderful to be creative in this way, and I'm going to say it again, organic, authentic, vulnerable even. I'm taking off the masks, pulling down the walls, and I'm just like, hey, I'm me, this is me, love me or hate me, I don't care, but I'm gonna love me, you know? And it's been beautiful, only for a month and a half. Like, I've just really, really, really been loving my hair and how it transforms daily. It definitely represents how I'm feeling on the inside, which brings me to my next point as to why I chose to do Freeform locks, is because I'm very spiritual, and I've been very spiritual my whole entire life, only getting more and more. And it's just a way to kind of represent letting go of ego and connecting more to soul, starting from coming from the place of soul, identifying with soul rather than ego. So that in itself has been spiritually beautiful, and I'm excited for the growth to come with the hair. I'm not so much in a rush for my hair to grow, because I do believe that you only get a first time once, so this will be the only one time that my hair will be short and froey, and I can wear little cute styles like this. So I am going to miss this length. However, I do look forward to the amount of growth that will come with the wisdom and aging of my locks. And they do say that they are spiritual antennas to the higher realms. So for me, it's also a way to connect to my higher self and to really bring my essence down into my body and hone in on that light that I'm encompassing and connecting to literally through my hair, something as simple as hair. So those are pretty much all the reasons. Let me double check if there's anything else that I left out. No, those are all the reasons, and thank you so much for tuning in to You Are Art. And if you are thinking about freeform locking, take courage and just do the damn thing, okay? Peace and love, y'all. Talk to you next time. Bye.